Hi. So, to continue with the Commodore 128. The absolutely dead as a doornail 128. As I mentioned to you, and as you have seen over the last many episodes, I rarely have good luck. I was going to say I rarely have luck. And, but that's not true. I often have luck. It's just mostly bad. So, just before I decide that I'm completely happy with this, again, I'm going to connect it to all this test stuff, because I really, come on, there we go. And the monitor. I just want to make sure. Now, and you know what else I suppose I should do? Is I had removed the SID chip as a test chip just to see what's what. So I'm going to put this, once again, the SID chip that works but doesn't, back into the test board. And I'm going to put the original SID chip back into the 128. And what does it say? 2885. Yep, everything looks absolutely original. Okay. And where was the SID chip made? Korea. Imagine. Okay, so, with great care, the SID chip is back. We turn on the power. Oh yes, there's one thing that's kind of necessary. The cartridge. Okay, so we turn it on. It is testing. So, as you may recall, this 128 is not the prettiest. It's very strange, very strange. Remember, I'm the first one ever to open this. I broke the warranty seal. But you see the keys. They are funny. And I think what I'm going to do at this moment, because I know that this thing seems to be happy and seems to be working and all, I'm going to put it all back together. Even the shielding. Because, I mean, things on here are yellowed. But really, they must have, at some point, been switching the kind of keys. There's no way that someone had this sitting and the sun just randomly hit these keys. There's just no way. So, I don't know if this is more interesting because of its current state, or I don't know. Anyway, all I know is it was in the garage. I brought it out. I checked it over. I used my vast years of experience to try and figure out what might possibly be wrong. And, for once, it actually worked. And what was it, in case you were not looking? I took off everything, all the shielding, all the everything, from the bottom, from the top, from the everywhere. And I took, yes, this soldering iron, which is sort of stuck here, let it get nice and hot, and because when I first turned it on, there was nothing, no power light, no anything, no flicker, no flash. It was dead. So I heated up all the solder joints to do with the power connector and power switch. I might have done the reset switch. I don't think so though. Anyway, and then of course, figuring that it would make no difference and nothing would be different and everything would be the same. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. So, it is happy. So, where was I? Anyway, yeah, so I heated up those connectors, plugged it in, turned it on, and much to my amazement, it worked. Just dandy. So, now the trick is to put it all back together as it was. Yes, even with the rusty screw. Now, I'm not a particular fan of all of this shielding thing, but we must do what we must do. So I did not bend all of the things. I bent the ones on the front and one side. So if I can get everything lined up again, which I believe I have. Or maybe not. Oh no. Everything is lined up. I don't like these things. I do not. Let's see if I can just push this over with my thumb. Sort of I can. Sort of. And then a little twist. Alright. good. The shield is back. Isn't it magic? So now we have this, and actually, you know what? I know they needed shielding, but this really is a great and magical heatsink. They didn't have this to begin with on some other machines, and I bet you I wish they did, or I bet you they wish they did. Because, of course, everything gets warm. So now I will go over to my bin here. And first, there is one screw different than all the others, and it goes into the top where the video connection is. Okay. And then we have our teeny tiny little screws. 2, 4, 7. I think that looks right. And of course, they are a different size head than the others, than the ones on the outside. But everything is lined up, so they should go in. The one I have to refrain from doing up yet is the one that connects a ground strap to the keyboard, and that's the one down over here. So when I put screws in like this, I snug them down. I don't reef on them. There is no point in. Don't want them to come loose. Don't want to break anything. So, almost there. So, I wish, of course, that the case on this machine looked better, but it doesn't. It is yellowed. I'm sure I will take a magic eraser to get like dirt off, but for the moment I need a little more light here. These things only go on one way, unless of course, I'm sorry, I'm at the keyboard connector now, and the light is not with me. Ew. What's going on here? Alright, what am I doing? I can't. Hello. My golly. Alright. Once in a while, it is good to raise your head and say, what the heck is going on here? I have this right way around. Oh, okay. We're now on. And now, the last screw can be put in. Alrighty. And finally, the power connector, which, if you remember, was completely and totally dead. So I'm going to line this up and get everything just so. Which, so far, remember, it was very tight coming off here. Hello, come on. Okay. But before I, as they say, button it up, I'm going to make sure that the power light lights up. And it does. And I suppose just because I'm here, and I've just done strange things to this machine, I will once again plug it in, hold down the Commodore key, up comes the Commodore 64. Yes. I have not checked the 80 columns. I will. Not now. I will. Right now, I'm going to get this back together, and I'm going to rejoice. So, it is good of you to be here to see this, because as you know, lately, I've not had a ton of success. I've not had any, well, it's been a while since I've had any smoke, but it has happened. It was a 1541 that smoked on me. One in the corner. And then, because it is part of the history of this machine, one rusty screw. Back where it came from. Now, let's just see here. We have everything. Everything is secure. What do we see? I don't think there's anything magically gloriously unique about this serial number. 1641998. Manufactured 1185. This device complies with FCC Rule Part 15. Operation is subject to the following two conditions. This device may not cause harmful interference, and two, this device must accept any interference that may be received, including interference that may cause undesired operation. I don't think, I mean, I've read this many times before. I don't think I've quite ever heard anything so stupid. So, let us recap. Here is the 128 fully reassembled. It has funny keys in that some are yellowed, but not all. But yet they were all original because right here, I will get a little closer, right here, that hole right there, that had the original warranty sticker from Commodore on it, and it had not been disturbed. None of the screws looked like they'd ever been screwed with. The heads were all perfect. There is down here, I don't know why, the rusty-headed screw. So, the machine is yellowed on the front, on the back, and some keys, but not all. Not at all. So here we have Survivor. And I am still quite surprised. You remember, oh, by the way, I'm just tucking this down behind some SX64s. You remember a while ago I was going to look at SX64s? Yeah. Haven't got there yet. So,
that was easy.
It was kind of. Oh, it's nice when something works. So, before I forget, I am going to connect all this magical stuff back. Especially, there's this one thing here, goes in the serial port. It connects to nothing, but I'm sure there's something in there that makes it necessary to be there. Power off. Joystick in. Joystick in. Just to make sure we're all good. We'll just connect it all up. Turn it on. Turn it on. What's going on? Oh, right. But wait, why didn't... Oh, okay. There's 128. Forgot to put the cartridge in. Cartridge going in. We're testing. And of course we'll have a bad sit chip. Oh, here's this thing. It says old, no sound works. I did find an original silver label 64 amongst my stuff, and it had no sound because there was no sit chip. Anyway, that is one of the first things that I've actually put up for sale. It's on eBay, and of course, offers will be, they may not be accepted, but they will be entertained. So this is running through its thing. I think, I'm just going to try and make sure I have things back where they were, including this fine hammer, which also has this ratchet thing, but mostly I needed it for the pliers. But anyway, back to the box. And I suppose it is getting a little not dirty. congested around here. So maybe it is time to do a little tidying up. The soldering iron that saved the day. I will put it back. Oh. Oh. Hello. Hello. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, there. Oh. Now that's a hammer. Maybe that too should go gently into the toolbox. It is not something I would like to drop on my toe. Actually, one of the reasons I'm putting the soldering iron and everything away is I have a little boy. He doesn't come in here. He doesn't mess with things. I don't think he would ever. Oh. But there we go. Anything left out and around like that, you just never know. Oh, what am I doing? So, if a soldering iron is not available, you can't touch it. So, we'll put the 128, and we test things in, back up on top of 1701. Ooh. I tell you one thing about that machine. It did have a little dust. Ugh. So, I guess one last thing. Look, there's a Commodore 128 that works. One thing, just to end on an already high note. All right. We'll start it up. In 64 mode. Load the menu program. I think you know what might be coming. Perhaps. Perhaps it is time to rejoice. And I'm not saying the dance of joy is imminent. Let's see here. Well, this seems appropriate, I think. Let me just see. Yes, this all happened. Sorry, I had taken this 128 out of the garage and brought it in, as well as other things that I have to look at still, including more 1541s. But it was the middle of the night when I got up. So here, right, that went well. Okay, let's try that again. Anyway, Yes, you must watch out when you lean over a machine. You might hit the keyboard, which might make it stop. So, I don't know if any of you remember this, but there was a show, I think, maybe not, maybe this was in a movie. No, I'm not sure. But this, because I did all this late into the night, we shall celebrate with a song called Night Shift. And in the midst of that, I will turn off some lights. And if I was Mr. Rogers, I would put on a sweater. Or maybe when I take this, no, I think I put the sweater on. I think he changed his shoes too. I'll have to look that up. Anyway, I will leave you with this Commodore 128 playing Night Shift. Until we meet again. Aha! There we go. And that is the Night Shift. It is actually not night now, but you would never know it here. But I am not going to do anything else at this moment. I just brought in, yes, another 1541, fresh from the garage. And here, good. Maybe I will turn this light on. Here is a very dirty 64. And it has a fast load cartridge in it. Imagine. So, I suppose, not now, but in the next episode, perhaps, we'll see what we can see. I do, of course, want to get back to the 4040s. So, but, you know, I also want to get back to the SX64s. Anyway, Thank you for being here. I'm sure we will meet again.